Tonight, Darryl Kyle and Al Leiter. They face off at Shea Stadium in a classic pitching duel. Two crafty veterans, two team leaders. What a matchup. It's next on Fox Sports Net. Last season, Darryl Kyle was 2-0 against the Mets, and he dominated at Shea Stadium. This year, he's looking for his first victory of the 2002 campaign. It's game 2 of this 3-game set, a little warmer than last night. The Cardinals and Mets tonight on Fox Sports Net. Big crowd here for this pitcher's duel, so to speak. Al Hrabosky, Dan McLaughlin. I said pitcher's duel yesterday. You made fun of me. I'm going to say it again. It will be a pitcher's duel tonight.
Well, it ultimately ended up one yesterday, but in that first inning, when 5 runs were scored off of both pitchers, you kind of questioned it. But this one we expect to be a pitcher's duel, and I'm sure we won't be disappointed.
Al Leiter has dominated here at Shea Stadium. He has not given up an earned run. Darryl Kyle, meanwhile, he needs to get things going for this team. 1-7 on this current road trip are the Cardinals, and he had a lead the last time out, but couldn't hold it.
Well, but I thought he's pitched very well. He made a couple careless pitches in this game where he had some. What he's got to remember is that he is a fastball pitcher with an exceptional curveball. That curveball is good because of the fastball.
How about Al Leiter? This guy has been dominant so far.
This guy is a crafty left-hander. I mean, he really is more of a power guy, but he has a nasty cutter, one right there. He'll pitch up in the zone, and, you know, he's got a good curveball, too. This guy can dominate, but I've noticed maybe it might be interesting to see Vina or somebody bunt against him because he has already committed 2 errors on the season.
Al Leiter has a .38 ERA. That is tops in the major league. Kyle against Al Leiter. Mike Matheny will sit down with Al when we come back.
Welcome back to Shea Stadium, where we have game 2 of this 3-game set. Mike, what a great pitching matchup this is. Darryl Kyle against Al Leiter.
Well, both guys have been throwing the ball well. We just saw some film on Al on his last outing against Montreal and threw a great game. But Darryl's been throwing the ball real well, too, and so we're anxious for him to keep that up tonight.
Talking about Darryl, so much more freedom after the surgery, and yet he still has to remember that he is a fastball pitcher with an exceptional curveball.
He does have a great fastball. I know that's a trap that I fall into a lot, is really trying to get that curveball going. But it's such a powerful weapon when he gets in tough spots that it's hard not to fall in love with it. But he's come a long way. I mean, his arm feels so much better than it did last year, and he's got more motion. He's got more freedom, and sometimes that kind of messes with his delivery because he's used to being so tight and bound up. But he's really worked hard to get back to where he is, and he's going to have a good year for us.
And I think, and it's just my observation, a little better velocity and maybe better movement.
He is throwing the ball hard. He's throwing the ball harder on a more consistent basis. Last year, he'd reach back every once in a while, but for the most part, he's staying around the 91, 92, and he's able to sink the ball. He's able to put a little cut on it. He's just a smart pitcher. He has a great idea of what he wants to do. He has a good idea of how he feels that day and what he's going to have to do, and he also does a great job of not just knowing it, but executing it.
And, of course, I won't tell you that Leiter threw a 2-hit shutout in that game you saw that film. But that was last time. Cardinals are going to get him this time. Stay tuned. We'll have more have baseball real soon when we come back after this.
Cardinal Baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. By your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Net. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Center, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. By Pennzoil, protection under the toughest conditions. And by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with lower fares. A beautiful night in New York City. The Cardinals' lone visit to the Big Apple. Only 6 games played between these two teams, who won't see New York until late August. A look at Tony La Russa's lineup is presented by Southwest Airlines. Vina to lead things off, then Polanco, Marrero, Pujols, Edmonds, Renteria, Martinez, Mike Matheny behind the plate, and Darryl Kyle, 5 for 13 the last 3 games for the leadoff man, Vina. Around the horn, a defensive look at the Mets. It's brought to you by Dobbs. Mo Vaughn, former MVP in the American League, is on the right side with Alomar. Alfonso moves from second to third this year in 0-2. Valentin, a late insertion in the lineup for Bobby Valentine. Cedeno's been a disappointment so far. He's in left. Jay Payton in center. Burnitz, the former Brewers, in right. And Vance Wilson is the backup catcher. Backing him up tonight, a guy named Joe McEwen. And Al Leiter is on the mound for the New York Mets. He's part of our Chrysler Jeep starting matchup.
Been off to a great start. 2-0 record. Major League leading ERA of 0.35. One complete game. His last one, a 2-hit shutout in Montreal. Strikeout per inning. And he's always had very good control. 7 walks, and one of those was intentional.
Bobby Valentine is the manager of the Mets. They've had winning seasons under Bobby Valentine. A trip to the World Series, over 1,000 victories for him. He had some great years with the Rangers. Former big leaguer. Then had to go to Japan to really kind of resettle himself in. And one of the cockiest managers, no doubt, in the game of baseball. It's our 4th key matchup of the night. Home games, the Cardinals have played 9. They're 6-3 on the road, 5 games below 500. On this current road trip, 1-7, and the Cardinals have dropped 8 of their last 9. Something needs to change, and it needs to change in a hurry. Even though it's April, Tony La Russa feels that he needs to just change the makeup and the feelings of this team so far.
You don't want a team to kind of become complacent and understand that, hey, we got a lot of injuries, things aren't going well for us, long road trip. You got to change your own fate, and you don't want to get some bad habits. Everybody knows we're under the 8 ball a little bit.
And the first pitch is taken for a ball by Vigna. We're underway 7-11 with our first pitch from Shea Stadium. Last night Vigna was 1 for 4. Jeff D'Amico, good start for him. And the New York Mets quickly 2-0. Al Leiter has not allowed an earned run here at Shea Stadium, trying to bounce back from what he called a disappointing year last year when he finished 8th best as far as ERA is concerned in the league. Now 36 years of age. This is his 2nd time in New York. He started with the Yankees.
He's been on 3 World Championship teams. He's just been synonymous with winning and a great competitor.
Vigna up the middle. Valentin, good play. Out at first as Mo Vaughn stayed on the bag. We mentioned that John Valentin, the former Boston Red Sox player for 10 years, is now at short. And we'll be doing this all night long. This is our virtual manager. Log on to foxsports.com and vote on this question. Should Tino be in the lineup tonight? Not because he's struggling, but you've got lefty-lefty. And you can vote now at foxsports.com on Lycos, keyword virtual manager. Here's Polanco.
Polanco's one of these guys that you're going to have to expect to stay on top of the ball. That's the way he talked about hitting. Leiter is so tough on right-handers because he has that great cutter, and then he'll try and elevate the ball once he gets ahead to you. And you've got to stay on top of him. They hit him pretty good in spring training one game, but that's spring training.
Andy Bennis pitched pretty well in spring, too. 36-year-old Al Leiter. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Placido Polanco with Eli Marrero on deck. J.D. Drew is not in the starting lineup. And our question tonight on our virtual manager is a good one because of the lefty-lefty matchup. You take your pick. You've got Tino in there. You've got Jim Edmonds. J.D. Drew was a possible candidate to play, and they picked Drew to sit this one out after he banged up his knee a little bit last night. Plus, he has not had great success against Al Leiter. And I thought was real interesting was Mike Shannon's interview with Tino, and he said, well, maybe I can get a bunt or a sac fly and do something positive for the team. He is the ultimate leader, isn't he?
Yeah, move a runner over, move him into scoring position. And of course, you can win a game with your glove.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Ooh, Lance Wilson stumbled back after that foul ball was taken off the mask, I believe. Maybe we'd see Joe McEwing this early in the game. Oh, that's what happened. The backswing of Polanco after the foul ball hit him in the face with
2-2 again. Bounced in the dirt. Piazza had a game earlier this season in which he was hit, and it looked like it was going to be a serious injury. He had blood coming out of the top of his head on his forehead, but he stayed in the game. There's Super Joe. Had a chance to visit with him, and before the game I said, now you are backing up, right? He said, yep. You don't forget, do you? I said, no way. We remember him as a jack of all trades.
Well, you know, that's how one of the things that if a young player, if he wants to become valuable, you know, that's the one thing he does, is goes volunteers to a manager and say, hey, I'll put on the gear. I'll be your emergency catcher. All you have to do is have a guy to finish the game. In this case, Piazza is already hurt, so their backup catcher is going to be the starter probably tonight, tomorrow.
Full count on Polanco. Got him on the inside corner. 9 pitches in that battle between those two. 9 pitches. The strikeout for Leiter. Again, the virtual manager question. Should Tino be in the lineup? We hope you log on to foxsports.com. 71% of you say yes. 29% no.
I like that. I like that positive, knowledgeable fan. You can't rest everybody.
Here's Eli Marrero. He's filling in for Drew. Tino talked about the adjustment with Mike Shannon in our pregame show, Cardinals tonight, that he's had to make. The broken bat is hit left side. Tough play. Alfonso on the run. Picked by Vaughn. And they got him. Talk more about Tino when he comes up later tonight. It's the second pick in this series by Mo Vaughn. The strikeout of Polanco, a 1-2-3 inning and a start for Al Leiter. Look at Bobby Valentine. The Braves and Giants, along with the Mets, the only National League teams to finish with winning records each of the past 5 seasons. A look at his lineup. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Cedeno, Alomar, Vaughn, then Valentin, Alfonso, Burnitz, Peyton Wilson, and Al Leiter. Around the Horn is brought to you by Dobbs. A look at the Redbirds defense here tonight. First baseman Tino Martinez, part of our virtual manager question here tonight. Vigna on the right side along with Tino. Polanco and Renteria on the left side. In the outfield tonight, Albert Pujols is in left. Jim Edmonds is in center field. Eli Marrero starts in right. And Mike Matheny is behind the plate, Al's pregame guest. Good job with Mike. And he was talking a lot about our Chrysler Jeep matchup and Darryl Kyle here tonight.
Darryl Kyle, and one of the things that they want him to do, establish that fastball, get his first win. With a little bit of luck, he should be 3-0. And he has won 3 straight games against the Mets.
Cedeno, last thing that he wants to do is pop it up. He's got great speed on the infield. Polanco has it. 1 away. Good start for Kyle.
Darryl Kyle has an exceptional curveball, but it's the fastball that makes that curveball so effective. There's his career mark at Shea Stadium. 5-2 in 10 career games, 9 starts. Lifetime, he's 12-4 with a 329 versus the Metropolitans.
Here is Roberto Alomar. Big off-season trade for the Mets. Revamp their offense. Centered around Alomar and Burnitz and Mo Vaughn. 2 balls, no strikes for the 12-time All-Star.
Got over 2,400 hits and currently 4th amongst active players in the all-time hit list.
Slow start, only hitting .238. Switch hitter, 3-0.
He's tuning it up a little bit. 324 with a pair of home runs and 4 runs, 6 RBIs last 9 games. And he's also batting .327 from the left side, but under 100 from the right.
Mo Vaughn waiting on deck. 4 straight to Alomar. He's aboard.
the first baseman, number
It brings
42.
in the 1995 American League MVP, and that's Mo Vaughn. When people looked at the Mets, and a lot of people thought that they could win the East, they looked at the lineup. But this has been the sore spot for them. Their offense has not produced as expected. The pitching has been dominant. And another aspect, too, is that if you look at the infield with a guy like Mo Vaughn, he's got a good glove at first, not great range. Alomar, Alfonso, Ray Ordonez, you've got gold gloves all over the infield. You think the defense is going to be very good, but that's let them down as well.
Oh, they've been atrocious.
Ground ball and pulled foul. This is the 40th anniversary of the New York Mets. Began back in 1962, and Casey Stengel was a big part of that.
You see, this date Mets history, 40 years ago, Casey Stengel, their manager, won his 3,000th game that he managed. 3,000.
I did see that. Mo Vaughn has one home run, pulls that. Foul. And he turned on an 88-mile-an-hour fastball from Kyle, but he's in the hole, 0-2.
You see the way he's all crouched over, and the ball up and in. The only thing he could do is really turn on it. He's just came back Sunday from breaking a bone in his hand. And well, Kyle probably has never faced him.
The 0-2 pitch. Good block by Matheny. You have to watch Alomar. He's had 30-plus steals the last 3 years. He's standing at first with one out.
Great job of blocking the ball in the dirt. Just absolute perfect technique. Well, there's nobody better. Mike Matheny, and right now back to normal, where he's the best in the National League and throwing out runners.
Yep. Alomar is at first. Vaughn looks at a ball 2-2, and you know Darryl Kyle wanted that last pitch. That was close on the inside corner.
Absolutely. You got to pitch big guys in, and just that little look right there accentuates that he wanted that call from Gary Darling, our home plate umpire.
Mo Vaughn, 8 seasons with Boston, 3 with Anaheim. Came over from the Angels, along with cash in exchange for Kevin Appier on December 27th.
3 non-existent years because of injuries.
Yep. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Mo Vaughn. Breaking ball, goodbye. Good pitch by Darryl Kyle. Vaughn didn't like that one.
The shortstop, number 4.
He got away with the one on the inside corner, but not this time.
I know what's wrong with it. He's a big guy, but we talked about it. He has the Joe Frazier style of hitting. He stands up, and that ball was belt high.
You got it. Vaughn spent 8 years in Boston. John Valentin, 10 years with the Red Sox. Signed as a free agent this offseason, playing shortstop tonight. 2 down, Alomar at first. And the first pitch to him is a strike. Valentin off to a slow start, hitting under 200.
And he's already committed 3 errors. I thought it was very interesting, Tino's comments with Mike Shannon. Mike asked him about changing leagues. Has there been anything that has surprised you? And he gave the answer that he was expecting a lot more fastballs, particularly from guys that throw in the mid-90s. They've been getting him out with change-ups, off-speed pitches. The days where the National League was strictly fastball and the American League breaking balls are over.
No balls and a strike. Breaking ball misses out and away. Said he's really been fooled by the changeups as well, as you mentioned. And he said most of the guys he's seen, he's been real impressed with their fastballs, mid-90s, and he wasn't expecting that either.
Well, he's expecting to see more of them.
Right.
And then they're all of a sudden they're getting him out with the off-speed where, you know, he's you naturally, when you change leagues, you talk to people and they say, oh, it's much more aggressive in the National League. Throw a lot more fastballs. You can expect to see fastballs late in the count. And he's going, well, it's kind of been the opposite that we're seeing American League ball. American League style pitching.
Alomar is running. Pitch is a strike, throw down to second. Gets into center field, and Alomar will move up. A stolen base for Roberto Alomar, and he moves up. The tag could not be applied. And an RBI opportunity here for Valentin.
They'll probably give the air to Mike, and he should receive it. You know, sails a little bit on him, but the responsibility of Vigna is, even if you have to concede the stolen base, you go out there and stop that ball. You don't let the guy get up and go to third base. But there's a little personal battle going on between Vigna and Alomar. Vigna's the reigning Gold Glove winner in the National League. Alomar was the perennial winner in the American League. And it's just sort of a situation where, you know, I think Vigna wants to accentuate the play here, but he's got to stop that ball from going in the outfield.
There's another block by Matheny. The confidence that he gives his pitchers to throw that breaking ball with a man at third and put it in the dirt has to be above and beyond anybody else in the league. He'll keep it in front, hold that man at third. The 2-2 pitch, fouled back.
One of the things that they want to guard against, particularly early in a game, they want Darryl to really establish that fastball, and Mike has a tendency to go so much with the breaking ball or change-ups, and Duncan doesn't want that. There's a breaking ball.
Popped up, Tino near the stands. You know he's going to get some help over there. These fans love him in New York, but they booed him a bit last night.
Well, the Mets fans booed him, the Yankee fans who never come here unless they want to pay tribute to one of their favorite sons, they were cheering for him.
Yep. 2-2 pitch. Popped out of play. John Valentin, back in 1997, led the American League in doubles with 47. Last year, late June, had a heel problem in his right foot and missed the rest of the season. Trying to regroup here with the Mets. 2 outs, Alomar at third. This has been a long inning for Kyle after a long inning by Leiter. Full count. Leiter threw 15 pitches in that first inning, and Kyle is at 19.
You know, I talked to Dave Duncan about how good did Matt warm up yesterday. Gave up those 3 runs. He said he had the best stuff that he'd ever had. Got to the mound.
A shot and a lead. RBI base hit with 2 outs for Valentin. Alomar scores. And how big was that ball that got away on the stolen base? Cost the Cardinals 1-0 New York.
That's why I say you've got to make sure you keep that ball from being blocked. You know, the ball up out over the plate and hit sharply to the left side and through. But Matt Morris got to the mound in the first inning and said, I just couldn't feel the ball. And both pitchers struggled in the first inning before settling down yesterday. It's still cold. You can see they're blowing on their hands, but not as cold as yesterday.
Here's Alfonso. It's funny, Tony La Russa talked about a slick baseball on both sides.
Yeah, and it's, you know, you warm up with one baseball, but you come out here in the first inning and you may be throwing one for quite a bit, and it's not rubbed up as well.
Alfonso gets underneath this one. Guerrero is there, camps under it, and the Mets leave a man, but they score first in game 2 of this 3-game series here from Shea. Valentin, the RBI, the drive in Alomar. 1-0, Mets on top. A pitcher's duel, that's our theme tonight. Darryl Kyle and Al Leiter. 15 pitches in the first for Al, and for Kyle, 22 pitches. A walk came back to haunt him. To Alomar on a base hit by Valentin with 2 outs. Our virtual manager vote now at foxsports.com. Who will go deeper into the game, Kyle or Leiter? Log on to foxsports.com and give us your vote, your thoughts. Keyword virtual manager. We'll give those results coming up. Pujols, Edmonds, and Renteria here in the second. 1-0 Mets. Albert hit a ball that is still going. In the first inning of yesterday's game, he crushed it 452 feet, which would be the longest at Shea this season.
And I think that was shortchanging him by
got it
plenty. It went completely over the bullpen, the Cardinals bullpen, and out into the park. parking lot.
3 balls and a strike. And a walk to Pujols. Leadoff walk. That'll bring in Jim Edmonds. Let's take a look at this day in baseball history. We're talking about Casey Stengel before. This is back in 1964, April 23rd. Met manager Casey Stengel is fined $500 by Commissioner Ford Frick for appearing in a beer ad.
$500 in 64 was a considerable amount.
Yep. How about that, though? 3,000 wins as a manager for Casey Stengel.
That was just on this date.
Yep. He had more coming. Also a St. Louisan now, Ron Hunt. Got his first major league home run in that win. Number 3,000 for Casey Stengel.
Ron Hunt wore the Cardinal uniform. Makes his home in Winsville.
Right.
Did you play for him?
I did play for Mr. Hunt. He's a tough old man.
I heard he's too easy on you young guys.
A couple of suspensions later, I was done playing for Mr. Hunt. But he held the record that now I believe is still owned by Don Baylor, right? Most hit by pitches?
Yes.
Edmonds looks at a strike, 0-2.
Typically, he goes right after left-handers. And then he'll go outside. I talked to Jim about him. He said, I think what he was fooled by that pitch inside, he expects them to go away, and which they are now.
A ball and 2 strikes. Al Leiter, along with Mike Hampton a couple of years ago in postseason play, really neutralized the Cardinals. That left hitting lineup that they threw out there that season.
His knee is much healthier now.
1-2 pitch. Got him. Edmonds can't believe it. Looked outside. He's arguing with the home plate umpire. Well, the show everyone's been talking about, the best damn sports show period, and tonight you can only get it here on Fox Sports Net at 11 o'clock. Yankee slugger Jason Giambi, Hall of Fame running back John Riggins, and the 2002 World Series, the worst ever. Find out what they're talking about only at 11 o'clock here on Fox Sports Net.
Jim Edmonds missed those final 3 games, and really 3.5 games in Milwaukee. Said yesterday he just felt lost at the batter's box, and it looks like it continues tonight.
Here's Renteria. That pitch looked up and away, though, to Edmonds.
I agreed with it. That assessment, but we will have to zero in and find out where Gary Darling's strike zone is today. As long as it's consistent,
can't argue with that.
And hitters can adjust to it.
Mo Vaughn is playing in front of Pujols, not holding really at first. We saw that a lot with Todd Zeal, and he did that here in New York. There's that called third strike to Jim Edmonds. Felt high, looked outside, though.
Yeah, it looked like he set up away and painted the corner, but
you like it when a first baseman is off the bag holding it first and plays in front of the runner?
I think it does a couple things, and I do like it, particularly when you have somebody that you would not assume is going to be running. What it does is you kind of block him. Do you feel like you either got to really shorten up or you've got to extend your lead further than you want to get around the body or see around the first baseman?
Sure.
Youngster had a sign says ex-Yankee fan. I love Tino Martinez.
I saw that during BP.
Right. Tino wore the number 24 in New York. So if you see 24 and you wonder why he's 21.
First and second. Tino looks at a strike. These two have hooked up before in the American League. Al Leiter was with Toronto, and of course during the Subway Series and interleague play. Tino Martinez, 1 for 3 last night. Let's see if he can bust out of this slump. Goes the opposite way. Cedeno, late break. That gets down. One hopper over him. One run in. And Tino on his way to second, and the game is tied.
I think we just saw what the Mets fans have been seeing from their $18 million left fielder, Cedeno. But there's a couple things that happen in this at bat. One, this is a good sign. Going with the pitch out away from him. Here's a terrible jump. And look, he fell down before he even got close enough to dive for the ball. He's stumbling, and, you know, you just don't. Sometimes you concede the hit instead of letting it get by you. It's the double RBI and puts runners at second and third for Mike Matheny with only one out. The Cardinals should be able to take the lead.
Second and third. Renteria at third. Martinez at second. Let's see what the Cardinals want to do here with Mike Matheny. We've seen Tony La Russa before when he knows an opposing pitcher can shut down an offense, and he's got a chance like this. He'll get creative, squeeze plays.
Squeeze play could be very evident. Remember, Leiter doesn't wear that brace anymore. His knee's much better, but he has committed 2 errors already.
And it's 2-0. 2 walks in the inning by Al Leiter.
You think on 2-0 he's going to throw a strike.
You got the pitcher on deck. And Darryl Kyle.
Darryl Kyle.
Mike is hitting .231. Rips that down the left field line. Hooking foul and into the seats. He jumped on that.
Leiter had a no-hitter through 5 innings a couple years ago before Mike Matheny broke it up with a base hit. Leiter did not face the Cardinals a year ago.
Mike has 1 home run, 5 RBIs, a chance to put the Cardinals on top here in the second. After the double by Tino. Good pitch there, pulled the string a bit. Mike was out ahead of that pitch, 2-2 to even the count up.
That's his curveball, Danny. He's got a very good curveball. It's effective because you're so guarded against the slider coming in on you. Curveball still, but it's much softer.
Almost a change of speed, so to speak.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's what it is really his change.
Full count. You've got Darryl Kyle on deck. Let's hope that double by Tino gets him going.
Well, I like it because he hit it to the opposite field. And he went with a pitch out there, and he had some luck for the first time, too.
Yeah. Matheny called third strike. Third strikeout by Al Leiter. That's a big one. And it's the second out. That'll bring in Kyle. Tonight's Nextel direct connect hit comes from Tino Martinez. A little luck, and he earned it. He has hit some bullets into outs. Not that time. Cedeno, the late break, and a double for Tino and an RBI. Just his 8th on the year. Darryl Kyle gets under this one. You can see Cedeno out there a little shaky. And the sarcastic cheer from the fans here at Shea. Cardinals tie it up. Tino Martinez, the RBI. 1-1. 1 hit aside, bottom of the second, and a 1-1 game. Kyle and Leiter, pitchers duel here at Shea. Vote now at foxsports.com on Lycos, keyword virtual manager. Who will go deeper into the game, Kyle or Leiter? Many feel Al Leiter will. 65%, 35 for Kyle. Al Leiter's thrown a lot of pitches, though, in the first 2 innings after the walks. He also has 3 strikeouts, so the strikeouts indicative of a high pitch count, as well as the walks.
I think I would have initially voted for Leiter, and it had nothing to do with the fact that Kyle threw 22 pitches in the first inning and Leiter threw 15. It has the fact that Darryl, coming off the shoulder surgery,
right,
is not as finely tuned as he will be in about 3 weeks from now, and still keeping him, close to that, 80, 90 pitches.
Here is Jeremy Burnitz. That's a ball from Kyle. 1 ball, 1 strike. Burnitz 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. Hitting under 250. Breaking ball, there it is. 1-2. Looked like the same pitch. The one before, that one called a strike. Sometimes we see these umpires give up on that big breaking ball by Darryl Kyle. There you see the shift. The Cardinals infield, they shade him to the right side in the outfield. Breaking ball is pulled foul. Chicago Cubs, as San Francisco came to town, put a shift on that was unreal. Did you see that?
I don't recall it.
Looked like a softball league. 5 guys on the right side of the infield. Hits on that pitch, fouled back. 1-2.
I don't know if that was the Ted Williams shift they put on.
Cubs were pounded last night at Wrigley Field. Burnitz in shallow right. Marrero, long way to go, but has it. Burnitz may have broken his bat, caught it off the end of the bat. What's on Tap is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. Well, tomorrow we'll have Blues hockey here on Fox Sports Net at 5:30. So our next telecast for baseball will be at 5:30 on Friday night. We'll come your way from Montreal. Pre-game show at 5:30 Saturday and Sunday. WB11 at Montreal 12:30, and then back home to Busch Stadium. I was talking with C.J. Cherry, the traveling secretary of the St. Louis Cardinals, who has been around since the early 80s with this team and organization, and he said this is the longest road trip he could ever remember the Cardinals being on. 14 days, 13 games, 4 cities. Here's Jay Payton. Lines that foul.
No, it's not the longest one. I came up to the Cardinals in 1970. 5-city, 18-day. Went to the West Coast, all 3 teams in the West Coast, then went to Chicago and then to Pittsburgh.
There's a shot. Renteria can't come up with it on the one hopper. Payton a wide turn at first as Edmonds will get it in, and a 1-out base hit. He hit it right on the button. It would have been a great play by Renteria to come up with it.
Well, the ball was hit right on the nose, and Renteria took a step or 2 to his left, but plays the ball sideways. I don't know when they started teaching to play the ball sideways instead of square up to a ball, but it doesn't hurt when it.
Midwest Sports Report coming up after the game. Guy Junker and Pat Perez will come your way. Blues inch closer to the second round. They're up 3-1. A preview about the big game tomorrow. Barry Bonds with Lisa Guerrero sit-down interview, part 2, and the Rams' #1 pick, Robert Thomas from UCLA. I understand the fans in St. Louis have not yet heard or seen really from the first-round pick, and we have an exclusive interview from his home in San Diego. All coming up on the Midwest Sports Report. Bernie Miklasz will also be part of the program, so make sure and stay tuned after Cardinal baseball. Here's Vance Wilson. He has been productive backing up Mike Piazza. Provided the go-ahead and game-winning RBI yesterday. After Piazza hurt his hamstring, Timo Perez did as well, and both those players are on the bench tonight and unavailable.
Look at his numbers. He's batting .286, a home run, and 8 RBIs. So he has a lot of confidence in his offensive abilities, and I saw the way he blocks some balls in the dirt. He looks very sound fundamentally.
Have to watch Payton. Good speed at first. John Valentin was a late insertion into the lineup for Bobby Valentine. Ray Ordonez was to play, and they put Valentin in the cleanup spot, and Vance Wilson, the man at the plate, moved from cleanup down to the 8th spot in the order. 2-1 the count, 1 out and a man on, and a 1-1 game here from Shea. Walks have doomed both pitchers early on in this game. Kyle walked Alomar back in the first. He came around on a base hit by Valentin. Then a walk to Albert Pujols to start the second. He was brought in by the double from Tino. And that's where we stand, 1-1. Payton is off and running, and the pitch is swung on, hit the deep right field. Marrero is there, gets it back in. And I believe Payton missed second base. Let's see. He did. Payton went around second base. He was stealing it. And coming back, he never touched the bag, trying to get back to first, which you have to do. And they double him up. It stays a 1-1 game. Top of the third, 1-1 game. Cardinal fans, here's a great family promotion for you. One Friday a month, the Cardinals offer a Terrace Reserve ticket, a Hunter hot dog, and a Coke for only $17. That is a $24 value for just $17. STLCardinals.com or 421-3060. Our first will be May 31st against Pittsburgh.
Used to think Georgia Tech graduates were pretty smart. Now I wonder a lot of things. Look at this. Doesn't retrace the steps. Steps on the grass and comes all the way back. That's the worst I've ever seen. And then he can laugh about it. This is a guy that's already lost his starting job. And you would think he would be a little more serious and understand the rules a little better than that.
He's an academic All-American, by the way, from Georgia Tech. To boot.
Jim Morris was the man. I wonder if he was still coaching at Georgia Tech when he played there.
Vina, Polanco, and Eli Marrero here in the third for the Cardinals. 1-1 game. Vina the other way. Cedeno broke back again and has it. He looks shaky out there.
Yes, but he still could catch the ball with one hand.
The third baseman.
He had a great play last night, though, in left center field in the gap. He has great speed. Signed a huge contract that you talked about, a 4-year, $18 million deal after he was done with the Detroit Tigers. Polanco, ground ball to short. Valentin backs up, backhand from the hole, got him. 2 away. Besides those great Friday nights we were telling you about, how about this? We've got Bud Light T-shirt night. We showed you the promotion coming up May 17th. There it is, that wonderful T-shirt to go along with those great Friday nights. 421-3060 or STLCardinals.com. Bud Light T-shirt night at the ballpark. Here's Eli Marrero. Grounded to third his first time up. He's 0 for 1. A start in right field for Eli tonight. That's as bad as you've ever seen, isn't it, with Jay Payton, the way that he just played that?
Absolutely.
Eli reaches for it off the end of the bat. Easy play for Valentin. A 1-2-3 inning for Al Leiter. That was quick. Vina, Polanco, and Marrero all go down. Coming up, we got the bottom of the third. Al Leiter, then the top of the order. 1-1. This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Auto Tire. For the very best in tires and service, you ought to go to Auto Tire. By Affleck. Without it, no insurance is complete. And by Advanced Auto Parts. The best part is our people. Full moon in New York. Shea Stadium. Cool night for baseball. Not as cold as last night, though. Expecting a lot of rain tomorrow night before we head to Montreal. 1-1 game. Kyle back out there. Here's the bottom of the third. Al Leiter to lead things up. In the top of the order in Cedeno and Roberto Alomar. Fastball by Kyle is in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and one. There's the general managers of these respective clubs. Steve Phillips on the left and Walt Jocketty on the right.
And Steve Phillips. Some people may remember him in St. Louis when he went to work for the Merritt Company.
Right. Leiter trying to bunt his way on. 2-2.
He's never been much of a hitter. A good competitor. good person in the community, former winner of the Roberto Clemente Award.
Matter of fact, with each win, $1,000 to the relief fund at September 11th. Many of the players, Jason Giambi, another one that's doing that as well.
Number 19, Roger
Thursday, May 23rd, when the Cardinals play the Astros. It's Bank of America Money Clip Day at Busch Stadium. The first 30,000 fans with a paid admission receive a quality silver-plated money clip, courtesy of Bank of America. May 23rd, the Cardinals will battle the Astros. 421-3060, or log on to stlcardinals.com. Here's Roger Cedeno, the source of a lot of boos here at Shea Stadium. He's the leadoff man here tonight. Has great speed. 55 stolen bases last year for the Tigers.
Set the Mets record with 66 stolen bases in '99.
Fell out of favor with Phil Garner. Martinez will have to get back to the bag. Vigna gets him. 2 away.
second baseman.
Brings in Alomar.
And that part of it is he turned down a multi-year contract with Detroit. Once they decided that he was not going to resign, they decided, well, we'll start giving playing time to guys that will be around. Can't argue with the team.
Nope. Turned down a 3-year, $13.5 million offer from Detroit. Here's Roberto Alomar. Then signed the 4-year, $18 million deal with the New York Mets. Roberto has 1 year left on his contract and then an option. Came over in that big trade with the Indians. Was very unsure about the direction of Cleveland. Their front office thought he'd be grumbling a little too much. A distraction. They got him out of there. No doubting this guy's talent, though. He's one of the game's greatest second basemen. Walked his first time up, scored, stole a base. Came around on the base hit by Valentin. The 0-2 pitch. He is popped up down the left field line. Tough play for Polanco or Renteria. And out of play. Stays no balls and 2 strikes.
Good hustle by Polanco and Renteria.
Long way to go there.
Long way. Contender that the stands down there and then the tarp that is rolled up but on the field.
And Albert was nowhere to really be found on that play. Big breaking ball. Alomar jumped on it. Plenty of room, though, in the deep center field for Jim Edmonds. In a 1-2-3 inning. Here in the bottom of the 3rd. We've played 3. Leiter and Kyle, 1-1. Graphics guru Doug Stanton back at it again, folks, for our Aflac trivia question. Who is baseball's first live action mascot? The answer will be in the bottom of the inning.
What is live action mascot?
First guess might be the chicken. Cardinal fans would think Fredbird. No. Phil Grayson has taught Doug well to dig for the insight that we come up with. 1 ball, 1 strike on Albert Pujols here in the 4th. Pujols, Edmonds, and Renteria. Albert a 2-run shot last night, his 4th of the season. He has a team-high 17 RBIs. One game here in the 4th. Al Leiter's given up his first earned run here at Shea Stadium and at night. He hadn't done that all season long. And opponents came in hitting just 178 against him. It's been tough here in 0-2. Trying to go inside on Albert, missed. And it's a full count. For last year's Rookie of the Year.
He lives inside to a lot of right-handed batters.
See what Albert can do here as he calls time.
Getting together with his catcher. He went through a whole sequence. Fastball, curveball, changeup.
Albert sitting on 4 home runs and fouls that away.
We know that Albert last year was the unanimous selection for Rookie of the Year, but he became just the 4th rookie in Major League history and the first National Leaguer to hit at least 300 with 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, and 100 runs scored.
The 3-2. Pujols pulls it left side. That's a fair ball. Alfonso is there. Over to Mo Vaughn. 1 away. Al Leiter is settled in. At 6 straight, he is set down after the RBI double by Tino Martinez back in the second.
You know he's settled in when you see these ground balls. He can eat up some right-handers. Now, left-handers is a little different. Normally, he's very aggressive with them with his fastball. And then maybe late in the count, he'll go away with the slider.
Edmonds was a strikeout victim. His lone plate appearance. Fouls that. He's caught looking back in the second inning. Al Leiter with 3 strikeouts on the night. His career high is 15. Did that against Chicago back in 1999. Does have a no-hitter while with the Florida Marlins back in 1996 against Colorado. Quite a career for the 36-year-old. 1 ball, 1 strike. Renteria on deck. With 1 out. Edmonds looks at a ball. 2-1. Last time out, complete game for Leiter. Shut out the Expos.
2-hitter.
Two balls and 2 strikes. San Francisco and Chicago a little later tonight. Keep an eye on the scoreboard for you. Houston is leading at Florida 4-0. Pittsburgh, one of the hottest teams in baseball, trailing Los Angeles 2-1. That's in the 4th. Edmonds was backing away, and that looked like strike 3.
Jimmy can't complain anymore because he was on his way back to the dugout, and this time the umpire didn't call it a strike.
Oh. The 3-2 pitch. Edmonds. Fly ball into center. Payton broke back and then has to come back in. And there's 2 away. Cardinal fans, if you'd like to win Cardinals tickets and participate in the Southwest Airlines Family of the Game promotion during a Cardinals home game, here's your chance. Send your name, address, and phone number to Southwest Airlines Family of the Game, P.O. Box 771192, St. Louis, Missouri 63177. Good luck from the Cardinals and Southwest Airlines. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Renteria. Edgar, his first time up, walked. Al Leiter really settling in now. 6 straight, set down by the lefty. Make it 7. Valentin has been busy. Over to Mo Vaughn and a 1-2-3 inning. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings here in the 3rd and 4th innings for Al Leiter. Tough inning coming up for Kyle. Vaughn, Valentin, Alfonso, 2 up for New York. Back to our Aflac trivia question. Who was baseball's first live action mascot? Mr. Met right here in New York.
You know, I just read a little bit of an article about Mr. Met, who is I believe they said a major in the reserves and now is over in Cuba as an informational officer at the Guantanamo, the prison we set
What
up.
are you talking about?
That's where Mr. Met, the gentleman that is Mr. Met currently, is on active duty.
This is where you begin to scare me.
So I wanted to know a clarification of an action mascot.
Ah, okay. All right.
And
I'll work with you here.
Mr. Met here isn't too animated.
Here's Mo Vaughn. Jumps on that one, but Edmonds stares it down. 2 former Angels right there, and Mo Vaughn and Jim Edmonds.
The shortstop, number 4, John Valentin.
Well, Kyle has gotten a lot of fly balls. Al Leiter a lot of ground balls. Both are beginning to really settle in this 1-1 duel here in the 4th.
Cold nights. If you do get a feel for the baseball, you sure don't lose your stamina because a cool night you feel invigorated.
There's John Valentin trying to bounce back after a disappointing season while with the Red Sox after 10 years wearing their uniform. Stays on the East Coast, now with the Mets. Alfonso on deck. Valentin has put together a nice career. He can play second, short, or third, even first. 1 for 1 tonight. Came in hitting under 200. Has the lone RBI for the Mets. Good breaking ball there, 1 and 2. Back in '97 in interleague play, actually hit a home run here at Shea Stadium. And now with this club. Back at Kyle, knocked it down. Polanco, bare hands, throws, and they get him. Hopefully Darrell's okay.
Looks like he got him on the pitching arm. Saw Barry Weinberg look over,
The third
Cardinals head
baseman,
trainer,
number
look over
13, Eduardo.
Skipper, and so far nobody looking. Line drive right back, drops down sidearm, big breaking ball.
Maybe off the hip.
Wherever it was, he's not going to give anybody the satisfaction to come out and check him. But you know, it's one of those balls where you kind of misjudge. It's also he left that in a bad spot. Left down sidearm, you want to, whether it's a fastball or breaking ball, you want to leave it on the outside part of the plate. He left it up and in the middle.
Here's Alfonso with 2 outs and nobody on. 1 ball, no strikes. Go back to last year when he was hit at Wrigley Field, Kyle. Remember that? Right in the face and still didn't come out of the game. Takes an awful lot for him to leave. He takes pride in never missing a start. Out there every 5th day, whether he's hurting or not. That's popped up. Matheny will give chase. Has a play and makes it. So Vaughn, Valentin, Alfonso all sit down. A 1, 2, 3, 4 for Kyle. We're through 4. 1-1 between the Cards and Mets on Fox Sports Net. 1-1 here in the top of the 5th. Tino steps in as a lone RBI tonight for St. Louis. Last night snapped an 0 for 15 skid with a base hit in the 9th. And last night with each at bat, the crowd got a little louder, a little more animated with Tino up there. His teammates are getting a kick out of it. I don't know if Tino is. I'm sure he does. The fans show their appreciation one way or another for Tino Martinez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Martinez, Matheny, and Kyle. His time is called. Martinez went the other way with a double that dropped in front of the diving left fielder, Cedeno. Big cut there. A lot of class. We're finding that out each and every day with Tino.
Absolutely. We
knew it, but now we see it firsthand.
Monday had a chance to have dinner with a couple of his Yankee teammates.
Strike out of Martinez. He knew it. Number 4 on the night for Leiter.
The catcher.
Tomorrow night, we hope you join us 5:30. Mark it down, the early start from the Savage Center in St. Louis. 5:30 with the pregame show. 6 o'clock, they'll drop the puck as the Blues will say goodbye to the Blackhawks. A chance to wrap up that series in Game 5 tomorrow night, only here on Fox Sports Net, 5:30. We hope to see you then. Mike Matheny struck out with 1 out and 2nd and 3rd back in the 2nd inning. And he starts out 0-1.
Little history made last night, Mr. Johnson.
Brent Johnson, the goaltender, 3 consecutive shutouts and 3 playoff victories for him. First 3 of his career as far as postseason play. All shutouts.
It's never happened in the NHL.
Shallow right field, long way to come for Burnitz. May drop, makes a basket catch. Alomar was waiting for Burnitz to call him off. He just gave up on it. Burnitz finally made the play.
The pitcher,
2 away.
number 57, Darryl
A
Kyle.
lot more difficult than it appeared. See, Alomar pulls up, and now watching. Basket catch. Arms kind of extended, mouth wide open. Uh-oh. Yeah, I knew I had it all the way.
Burnitz is a pretty good defensive player, too. Doesn't get a lot of credit for it, but decent speed, has a well above average arm.
Above average arm, but sometimes it's not accurate.
A little erratic, yep. Here's Darryl Kyle. Both these pitchers have thrown no-hitters in their careers. Al Leiter, while with Florida. Darryl was an Astro back in '93 and threw a no-hitter. 1-1 the count. Woof, look out. Turned on that pitch. Well, Al Leiter, all 4 strikeouts have been caught looking for the Cardinals. Hitting his spots. He's been effective after that double by Tino. And a strikeout of Kyle, first swing. He gets 2 in the inning, 5 on the night. We're through 4.5. It's a 1-1 game between the Cards and Mets. Ford Focus now with $1,500 cash back or 0.0% APR financing plus 6 months of gasoline at no extra charge. Focus only at your Quality Ford store, the home of the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Glad to have you with us with our Bud Sports crew. I'm Dan McLaughlin, Al Rabowski alongside. Good pitching duel here tonight between Darryl Kyle and Al Leiter. Leiter has set down 11 straight after the RBI double by Tino Martinez and the only hit of the night for the Cardinals. Burnitz, Payton, and Vance Wilson. Jeremy Burnitz, his first time up as we start here in the bottom of the 5th. Fly to right. 32-year-old that began with the New York Mets. Last year at 30-plus home runs. And he had, for the 4th consecutive season, 30 or more home runs. So he's got some power. We talked about his arm. 13 outfield assists last year for Burnitz. 4th in the National League in that department. Came over with Jeff D'Amico, last night's starter from Milwaukee. A wild, violent swing up there at the plate. Goes for broke.
May not have a chance to do that again this year because a very fine pitching staff doesn't have that many base runners.
Yep.
Kind of like sometimes a team that leads in double plays, it sounds good for your manager, but other times it's because you have a pitching staff that allows so many base runners. They get that many more opportunities.
The 2-1 pitch. Burnitz rips it into right field for a base hit. Just the 3rd hit of the evening for the New York Mets and a leadoff base hit here at the bottom of the 5th.
Darryl had retired 7 in a row before Burnitz ends that streak. Set up inside, fastball, it's up, and there's that violent swing. Puts everything into it, but he got on top of the ball and hit the line drive.
He was the 17th overall pick by the Mets back in 1990 out of Oklahoma State. One of the top collegiate players. And so is this guy, a top college player. Jay Payton out of Georgia Tech. Played with Jason Varitek and Nomar Garciaparra, same team for the Yellow Jackets. And had one of the oddest base running plays we've seen in quite some time here tonight. Was off trying to steal the bag. Vance Wilson flied out to right. He had rounded second and basically just cut across the infield to go back to first and then go back the same way he came. It was a double play. Nobody out here in the 5th in a 1-1 game.
Seen it in Little League, but never saw it in the big leagues.
No. Payton. Foul. Timo Perez is out. Mike Piazza is out. Both with hamstring injuries suffered in last night's win for the Mets. Two years ago, Jay Payton was 3rd. The Rookie of the Year voting. They expected a lot of things out of him, but he lost his job in center.
And he couldn't read the signs the first time. Matt Gallant flashed him to him, then he had to ask for him again.
1 ball, 1 strike. See if they have something on here with Burnitz at first. And a throw over.
One way for Darryl Kyle to help his defense and the bench to see if, 1, the batter would tip off something, 2, if the base runner has a one-way lead.
Kyle would love the double play. Peyton will be tough to double up. 1 and 2.
Tied him up. Fastball upstairs.
'29-year-old Jay Peyton at the plate out of Zanesville, Ohio. His 3rd season in the majors. First round pick back in '94 for the Mets. A number of years in their minor league system. Finally made it up in 2000.
It was delayed, his debut, for about 5 years because of health.
Check swing. He went around and a strikeout for Kyle. That's number 3 on the night for DK. Well, if you're looking for a weekend trip that will please the entire family, check this one out. Visit St. Louis and Busch Stadium in May. The Cardinals take on the Braves and enjoy these great promotional giveaways. Mousepad Night, Six Flags Day, Kansas City Life Card Set Day, and Gateway Arch Run the Bases Day. For more information on these great promotional days at the ballpark, 421-3060 or log on to stocardinals.com. For this long road trip, we're back home. 2 series, then back on the road.
Great.
I know you're looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to getting home.
I think everybody is.
Seeing our great Cardinal fans and having them warm us up. I'm about ready to put on the overcoat.
If it wasn't 1 and 7 and 7 and 1, you'd feel a little differently about this road trip. It makes it a little bit longer.
It does.
All the injuries mounting up. By the way, not to be the deliverer of bad news, but Garrett Stevenson has a little tweak in his hamstring as they pitch out, but not considered serious. Tony La Russa was knocking on his wooden desk.
I was aware of that. The back is no longer a problem. It's the hamstring.
Right. His next scheduled start will be on Wednesday night at Busch Stadium.
And then tomorrow, Bud Smith will be reevaluated. He got a cortisone shot on Monday. A little tendonitis or a little stiffness in his rotator cuff. Hopefully the shot will take care of it.
2 balls and a strike, and let's hope he's okay, because if not, it's a committee start, so to speak, on Saturday.
Yeah, because they really don't know who's going to start Friday or Saturday.
Could be Timlin on Saturday. We've heard that before. He's been in and out and maybe back in again.
Josh Pierce tomorrow.
We know that. And Morris on Sunday. Tied him up. Did not go around. So Wilson ahead in the count with 3 balls and a strike. Now Leiter on deck with 1 out and 1 on. And a 1-1 game here in the bottom of the 5th. Back up to Mike Piazza at the plate.
You don't want to groove a pitch to him, but you do want to retire him so you have 1 leg up in the 6th, getting the pitcher out.
And he walked him. Just the 2nd walk issued by Kyle. That'll bring in Al Leiter. Not a good hitting pitcher. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. A base hit by Burnitz, the strikeout of Peyton, walk to Vance Wilson, the 2nd in the game, and now here's Leiter. He'll square and gets it down, but Matheny has a play. The force at 3rd. There's 1. Wow, and a hard hit there at 3rd, but it looked like a fair slide. Polanco doesn't get up and say anything.
Now he does the umpire, and the umpire shows him right back that, yeah, it's a clean slide. Look at him get back quickly, get the lead man, but watch him take his foot out.
That's Burnitz there.
Yeah, and Even though he slides by the bag, he still can reach the bag. That's just old-fashioned baseball. You don't see it often, so that's why it catches some people by surprise. Right on the tailbone.
Placido is all right. Here's Cedeno, the leadoff man. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Ground out and a pop out. Good play by Mike Matheny. With first and second. Big out for Kyle to get Leiter in the force at third. You'll remember that when Burnitz comes up next time. Cedeno thus far has been a bust, hitting under 200. 2-0. Chance to put the Mets on top. Deadlock at 1. He had 48 RBIs last season, 12 more than his previous best. Fouled away. We mentioned that he sat out the last portion of the season a year ago. Had a dispute with Bill Garner, who's gone now in Detroit. Switch hitter. Spent some time with the Astros. They're trying to put the Mets on top. Hits it to the opposite way. Pujols. It slices to him, and Kyle is out of the inning. The Mets strand their second and third runners of the night. It's 1-1. This portion of Cardinal Baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it. By your local St. Louis area Kia dealers. It's about time everyone had a well-made car. And by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. Shea Stadium, beautiful night. Jeremy Burnitz, last inning, slid hard into third to Placido Polanco on a forced play. Polanco was saying he may have gone a bit out of his way to make that slide, as Placido is due up in this inning. Second, it's part of our protection play of the game, brought to you by Pennzoil. Here it is. Pretty clean play, though.
Well, you see, if he doesn't do that, Polanco completes a double play. Just a guy playing hard-nosed baseball, and I think we all appreciate that.
Top of the order for St. Louis, due up against Al Leiter. Pena, Polanco, Marrero. Leiter has set down 11 straight, only 1 hit allowed. That was a double to Tino Martinez back in the second to tie the game up at 1-1. That's where we are here in the 6th. Pena tonight has grounded out to short and flied to left. Leiter had a 15-pitch first inning, but he's been mowing them down since then. This is pitch number 69. And it's a ground ball, and it's 12 straight. Valentin has been busy. Lots of ground balls here tonight.
He's got it working. That's his specialty.
The third baseman.
You got that cutter runs in on. He's got a curveball, but he's got a sinking fastball, and he gets ground balls. And that's one of the reasons why he's leading the major leagues in ERA.
At the age of 36, 15 major league seasons. Here's Polanco, caught looking back in the first. Grounded to short. He's 0 for 2. Last season, Al Leiter was not nearly as effective in the first half than he was after the All-Star break. As Polanco shoots that foul, he's in the hole 0-2. He get a strained elbow ligament, and that's what the cause of his struggles were. And after the All-Star break, he was 7-3 in ERA, barely over 3, and finished 8th in the National League with a 3.31 ERA to finish out the year. Polanco, weak ground ball. Wilson pounces on it. 13 straight. Friday, the Cardinals will return to the field to take on Vladimir Guerrero, one of the game's best players, and the Montreal Expos. Coverage begins at 5:30 only here on Fox Sports Net. Friday, we hope you're with us from Montreal at 5:30 with Cardinals tonight. 13 straight. Here's Marrero. He's grounded out twice, once to third, the other to short. Tony La Russa, when I asked him about Eli today, said in his 40 years of being in professional baseball, Eli Marrero is the most athletic catcher he has ever seen. And he can't remember. I asked him, how about moving from center field to behind the plate? Do you ever have a situation that maybe forced your hand to play a guy like that? He's never seen anything like it. High compliments from a future Hall of Famer.
Dale Murphy started as a catcher, had trouble throwing the ball.
Think about Craig Biggio.
And then they made him a center fielder.
Right.
And you know, he was an all-star out there. But he has tremendous talents.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Popped up. Foul ground. Alfonso there. Al Leiter's in some kind of groove. 4 straight innings in which he set him down. 14 straight he set down. Only 1 hit, and it's 1-1. Pitchers duel. We have it here at Shea. 1 hit allowed by Al Leiter, just 3 for Darryl Kyle. Bottom of the 6th in a 1-1 game. We turn to our Advanced Auto Parts NL Central standings. The Pirates in their last 10 are 7-3. They're 12-6 overall and lead the division by a game and a half. The Cardinals are 4 back, 2 games under the 500 mark. Astros are 4.5 games out. The Brewers and Cubs in the cellar, 6 games out apiece. Big inning here for Darryl Kyle, Alomar, Vaughn, and Valentin. Roberto will lay it on the grass. He'll bunt. He's not opposed to doing that. He had 33 infield hits with Cleveland a year ago. Was in contention for the batting title until August. He hit just .278 and struggled in the division series. 190 against Seattle, 4 for 21. Normally, though, a very big-time player in postseason play.
He's been a very good player. Very consistent.
Ball's behind, a ball, then 2 strikes in the hole. Puerto Rico, Roberto Alomar, 34 now. Set up inside, tied him up a bit. He pulled it. That's the only thing he could do. A ground out to Vigna. Pitch number 81 there from Darryl Kyle.
Number 42.
How about this night? Sunday, May 19th. 1:10 start, and that's what you're getting. The Steve Klein Cap Day. That'll be against the Reds. 421-3060, STLCardinals.com. Pretty self-explanatory there. You get that hat. It's dirty. It's Steve Klein's. It's brought to you by Coke and Walmart.
But yours will be look dirty, but be antiseptic.
That's right. Martinez to Kyle. Mo Vaughn is retired. That wasn't even close. The Angels really worried about Mo Vaughn's weight. You can see why. He does not move well.
Somebody that moves well and has a little backhand. Not only Chino said, yeah, he might can do some things to help win this game. Sure, I want in this lineup against a tough left-hander, and he has the only hit, an RBI double for the Redbirds, and he can still help you out with his glove too.
Here's Valentin. Fouls it back. And Mo Vaughn, who missed all last season, was out with injury, and pretty much the year before. He put on a lot of weight. He was already a big man, but he was close to 300 pounds. And the Angels never denied the fact that he has a good glove. And we've seen that so far in this series. He's had a couple of good picks at first, but he just didn't move. Hot shot, but played perfectly is Polanco. Right on the line, a 1-2-3 inning for Kyle. Very efficient. We're through 6. Just 4 hits in this game. The Cardinals have 1. The Mets 3. Pujols, Edmonds, Renteria coming up through St. Louis. Congratulations to Rod Krosno, today's merchandise prize winner in the Hyundai Long Drive Inning Sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run in the 7th, Rod Krosno will qualify for the grand prize drawing for a Hyundai Santa Fe at the end of the season. As Pujols pops it up on the first pitch to register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer to complete in entry form. That's an adventure, but Valentin is there. And that is 15 straight set down by Al Leiter.
You know, I took my eyes off it, but I thought Valentin looked over at Alfonso. Look at,
yeah, you're right.
Right there. And then he was high enough that he was able to get back underneath it. But very strange. It's more of a shortstop's ball, and yet he looked like he was content to let his third baseman take it. They're lucky that one didn't fall in. I always like to break that streak of retiring batters and give up a second hit like that.
Edmonds trying to bunt his way on anything against this lefty.
Well, they have a shift on for him, so the third baseman is almost playing would be towards the shortstop area. So if he got anything down the third base line, it would be a hit.
Edmonds 0 for 2 in the hole. 0-2. 1-1 here in the 7th.
Jim says, I've been doing so much work that it's kind of messed me up. So I used to be able to be locked in, take a couple days off, and be back in sync. But he said, now I just feel like I'm lost.
Strike out number 6, and he missed pretty much all the weekend. Trying to come back last night, did not look as comfortable as he did prior to the injury.
Yeah, remember when he took himself out of the 6th inning, he was like 2 for 2 and was really swinging a hot bat. And then had the ailment.
16 straight. Set down by Al Leiter. Here is Renteria, the lone hit by Tino Martinez. All intents and purposes probably should have been caught. It's a late break by Cedeno in left, and he got a bad jump, fell in front of him. He dove and got over his head for an RBI double.
Maybe a hit, but definitely misplayed into a double. Could have been a play at the plate. So
sure,
he played it, you know, conservatively.
Three and 1 on Renteria with Tino Martinez on deck. We have a national news break coming up. All the sports headlines coming your way. Full count on Renteria. Edgar tonight has walked and grounded out to short. 0 for 1. He's 4 for 19 against left-handed pitching this year. Fouled away.
No way you could tell that he's got that good sinker working there. It looks like a lot of Cardinal hitters are going up there with a shin guard on.
The Mets will have Alfonso, Burnitz, and Payton in their half of the 7th. The 3-2 pitch from Leiter. Broken bat hit left side. Valentin deep in the hole. Picked by Vaughn and safe at first. Safe at first is Renteria.
Mo Vaughn can't believe it, but that is the correct call. Renteria hustling all the way. Good concentration by the middle infielders. The bat went flying all the way to third base. That made it look a lot closer. Off the glove of the third baseman.
That's a good call.
It was a lot closer on that first replay than I thought with the naked eye.
So Renteria breaks the string, and here's Tino. 16 straight had been set down by Al Leiter. The fans come alive when Tino steps in with 2 outs and a man on. Prior to that infield hit, the only hit was by Tino Martinez. 1 for 2 on the night. Couple of hits in this series in his return to the Big Apple. Picked up a hit last night in the 9th. Renteria is running, throw down to second. Got him. Wilson gunned him down. Now for a look at today's national news headlines. Let's go to the Fox Network Center. This portion of Cardinal baseball from New York on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with lower fares. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. And by Lowe's. Lowe's improving home improvement. 7th inning stretch here in New York. Cardinal baseball is a production of Fox Sports and an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net. Glad to have you with us. Ken Samuel, our director, Tom Mee, our producer, Lindsay Polite, Doug Stanton with us, and our New York-based crew. Of course, Doug came up with a great stat, the first active mascot. There's Mr. Met, entertaining the folks. Yes, he is live and in action.
What year did he come alive?
I have no idea. Do you?
No, I just want to see if he's really the first.
Get the best deals of the season on the ZX2 at your Quality Ford store. Qualified buyers get low 0.0% APR financing or $2,000 cash back plus 6 months of gasoline at no extra charge. Ford, the official car and truck of the St. Louis Cardinals. Darryl Kyle here in the 7th will face Alfonso, Burnitz, and Payton. A pitcher's duel. Yeah, we've had it here tonight with Al Leiter and Darryl Kyle. Kyle has had success before here at Shea Stadium. 2-0 against the Mets a year ago. Leiter has thrown 88 pitches. Darryl Kyle has thrown 80. A 2-hitter on one side, a 3-hitter on the other. Bottom of the 7th and a 1-1 game.
I think Darryl will be very happy to come out of this inning with 8 pitches thrown.
You got it.
Expected a pitcher's duel. We have seen one.
Alfonso tonight fly to right and popped out behind home plate to Mike Matheny. Crowd comes alive a bit. First pitch by Kyle is a strike. Alfonso now playing third base with the addition of Alomar. Didn't like it at first, but understands when you get a guy like Alomar, you got to make the move. Before this season, he made his last start at third base back in '98 against the Atlanta Braves.
Remember, he was the third baseman, and then when they got Ventura, he moved to second.
Right. Breaking ball well ahead of that pitch and lined into this crowd here at Shea. You always enjoyed playing here, didn't you, in New York? Whether it be Yankee Stadium or Shea?
I did like it here. And one of the reasons why was the mound. I always felt like they had a high mound, just the way the backstop scenery here, it was just always conducive. Always had a pretty competitive team, so you look forward to facing them.
You mentioned the backstop. In the background for the hitters, they say this is the worst hitter's park as far as that's concerned.
That's probably why I like it.
Yeah. Might have helped you along a little bit. He drops down. It's 2-2. Kyle does.
But you know, if you know, in my era of playing, the space between home plate and the stands is one of the shortest. So you felt like the fans were on top of you, which gave you a good environment.
Line drive left field. Pujols can't make the play. Drops in front of him. And the leadoff man, the go-ahead run is on for the Mets here in the 7th. He fought it off and picks up just the 4th hit of the night.
Like Darryl kind of talking to himself, said, thought I read his lips saying that was stupid. And I think he talked about he tried to get in on him but didn't get far enough in. Jammed him, and you got to give the hitters credit at times.
Here's Burnitz. 30-plus home runs again last season. Crowd coming alive a little bit here in the late innings. The 1-1 game, and that misses inside. Bobby Valentine had his hands full a year ago. 97 different lineups and the first 105 games. started giving extra playing time to guys like Joe McEwing and Desi Relaford when he was acquired. Shinjo was a Met last year. And now this guy's been added along with Mo Vaughn and Alomar.
Dan, that just happens because they're going to get the bullpen active. Very few guys play 162 games anymore. Cardinals didn't have one that played all games last year. And so you're forced to make lineup changes.
1-1 here in the 7th. Burnitz ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. He can lose one in a hurry. Big breaking ball taken for a strike.
Haven't we already employed 8 starters?
Yes.
And with a likelihood we're going to get a 9th over the weekend.
Yeah.
If not 10.
You go back to 2000 and that was the opposite that season. The starters were there every 5th day.
Right.
2 balls and a strike. Burnitz does have a base hit. Fastball misses. 3-1. This could be a dangerous time here. 3 balls, 1 strike on Burnitz with Jay Payton on deck.
I'm not saying in this situation, but at times Dave Duncan was telling me that they wish Kyle would have more confidence in his fastball when he gets into a jam. But this guy can lose either one.
The shift is on the infield. Shaded to the right side. Big swing, and he may have just gotten a piece.
Through the fastball there on the 3-1. Runs the count full.
Burnitz started with the Mets, then Milwaukee. Back with the Mets. Just 4 hits on the night as the runner goes. The pitch is a ball, and it's first and second. Nobody out.
The center fielder, number 44.
That may bring out Dave Duncan to talk it over with Kyle.
3rd walk of the night, and now he's in the jam. Runner first and second, nobody out, but your pitcher's mindset, you've got to think, I've got the 7, 8, and 9. Maybe this is how we get to Leiter. Force their hand to make a decision. So Bobby Valentine's going, get me a lead so I don't have to make that decision.
Corners will be in. Polanco and Martinez expecting, or at least realizing, there could be the chance with the bunt here with Payton, who has a base hit, just one of the 4 on the night for the New York Mets. It's first and second. Alfonso at second. Burnitz at first. Nobody out. A 1-1 game here in the 7th.
I think he's going to bunt. You know, Kyle wanted Matheny to go through the signs one more time. Payton watching his third base coach, Matt Gallant, flash his signs. Cardinals defensively are playing for the bunt. He swings away and hits something to the left side. If it's not at Polanco, it goes through.
Payton looks at a strike. I believe Steve Klein is starting to warm up. We haven't seen him in a long time.
Steve hadn't pitched in 11 days, and so they've got their fingers crossed, not knowing what he's going to have. Darrell's steps off. He's getting the signs from Polanco, having a little trouble. Got both cornermen in. Polanco is like the quarterback. He'll give the defensive signals. You got Renteria. You see he's going to keep the man at second very close to the bag. Get behind there trying for the pickoff play. It's a planned play.
No balls and a strike on Jay Payton. Polanco way in on the grass along with Tino Martinez. And the corners are in.
May not be bunny.
Payton puts it down. Polanco's only play is to first. Good bunt by Jay Payton. Runners move up. And it brings in Vance Wilson with a chance to give the Mets the lead.
Payton did a nice job of decoying the bunt until the last second. Bunts it hard enough to get by the pitcher so that third baseman has to come in so he can't get back to the third base bag. Then both runners can advance. You get one out,
In a way, for Bobby Valentine, his hands are tied as far as pinch hitting here tonight.
Well, he's got to pinch hitter on the on-deck circle, big Mark Johnson.
And that's when we may see Klein, if Klein can get Wilson here. Or rather, if Kyle can get Wilson here. Johnson swings from the left side. Infield in. And it's a ball outside. Virtual manager, vote now at foxsports.com on Lycos. Keyword virtual manager. Do you pinch hit for Al Leiter? Good question here. Remember, Perez is out, Piazza out. McEwing is used as your backup catcher. Can't waste him.
They have David Weathers warming up in the bullpen. We want these answers to come in before it becomes a second guess.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the beauty of the National League too. You wouldn't, with a DH, you're not even talking about some of the fun strategy that goes on in the game.
Right. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Infield is in. Second and third. We're at the bottom of the 7th. Got him to chase again. 1 and 2. Remember, last night it was Wilson filling in for Piazza that drove in the game-winning RBI and the go-ahead run. Trying to make it 2 nights in a row.
I'll tell you though, no matter what Wilson has done in this game, he is a very, very capable backup. Not only when he's in the batter's box, but when he's back behind the plate and handle the pitchers. I've been impressed with him. A guy that when you're behind Mike Piazza, you don't get much playing time.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Wilson is flying to right and walked. That fly ball was more like a line out though to right. Trying to get him to chase again. Virtual manager, do you pinch hit for Al Leiter? We ask you to vote at foxsports.com. You say yes, 67% of you. Looks like that's what Bobby Valentine will be forced to do possibly. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's about time to see him drop down with his sidearm breaking ball.
Only 1 out. Got him! What a strikeout for Kyle! He reached back for a little something extra on that fastball.
Remember we talked about the fastball where he had a tendency of wanting to go to the breaking ball, and here they stuck with the fastball. It showed him the curveball early and then gets him out in the fastball. And in his mind, he was trying to protect against the curveball, and that makes it easier to throw the fastball by.
So Leiter will hit for himself.
Yeah.
With 2 down.
Mark Johnson's a decoy.
Sure. Breaking ball. Kyle trying to get out of the inning. We're at the bottom of the 7th in a 1-1 game. Leiter tonight is struck out and sacrificed.
But you can see those decisions are not made by American League managers. Not to say it's right or wrong. It's just part of the game strategy.
You can tell Leiter not one of the best hitting pitchers in his career.
Now Darryl Kyles to Aston McKinney to come out. Anybody in that batter's box, you have to show respect for. Remember, sometimes it could be a flare, a quail, or just catch one like Matt Morris did last night. Hit it over the head of the center fielder. 1 hopper wall.
Edmonds and Pujols are way in the outfield. Polanco way off the bag at third base.
Well, I find that very curious at how shallow they're playing.
Yes. That's why I brought it up. They are very shallow.
Marrero is back, but center fielder Edmonds, you know, can handle playing shallow and go back on a ball. There's 2 outs.
1 and 2 the count. Breaking ball just missed. 2 and 2. Cedeno, the leadoff man, is on deck. Kyle would love strikeout number 5 and get out of the inning after a base hit and a walk to start the inning.
2-2. This is the pitch you want to do it with. Get him out on this one.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Leiter just got a piece. Hangs in there.
Another breaking ball, and
He got a piece of it. Almost aiming that one a little bit.
What do you do here against Al Leiter?
Throw a fastball up and away, try to get him to chase, but then you run it full if he doesn't.
Here it comes. Check swing. Got him. Strikeout. Back-to-back Ks for Darryl Kyle. 5 on the night. He keeps it 1-1. We're through 7. A duel in New York. Top of the 8th, Shea Stadium. 1-1 Mets and Cards. Virtual manager. Vote now at foxsports.com. A new question for you. Do you pinch hit for Darryl Kyle? He is due up 3rd here in this inning. Tino Martinez, Mike Matheny, and Darryl Kyle. You can think of a few situations that you might not pinch hit for him. But also there's some that you would as well. And he's at 105. I think I know the answer. You pinch hit for him. Pitch count is up there pretty high. See what Tony wants to do. But again, there's some situations in which you might not.
A zillion situations, to make it easier for him if you get guys in scoring position, but trying to get him his first win. Obviously, both guys deserve the win. Here's a hit.
Good piece of hitting by Tino Martinez, his 2nd hit on the night. He has 2 of the 3 Cardinal hits.
That is big when you do it leading off the 8th inning. Goes down there. There's just making contact. Not taking that Burnitz type swing, but a controlled swing, guiding the ball.
Let's see if Matheny can move up. Martinez from 1st to 2nd. Eduardo Perez has moved to the on-deck circle. Matheny will try to move Martinez into scoring position. A tie game, 1-1 here in the 8th. What a game this has been. Matheny squares and pulls back. Martinez back to 1st.
Al Leiter got a guy that's going to square around to bunt, elevate the ball, try and get the pop-up, try and get him to not be able to get the ball down. Did it the first one, but Matheny was heads up to it, laid off it.
Not that you would expect it here, but the slug bunt, we've seen that with Mike Matheny before. One of the better handlers of the bat, at least control in this type of situation as he pops this one foul.
As you just eat your words.
Man, help me out here, Mike.
Yeah.
Get it down.
That was not typical Mike Matheny.
Well, you understand what I mean.
Yeah,
he's a very good bunter.
Yeah. Tony, sometimes, there's situations that are so both managers know what the other one wants to do, so you try to do the unusual or try to upset the thinking, and that would be your slug bunt.
Matheny squares, gets it down, though. Leiter has a play at 2nd. Wide of the bag. He held on. Alomar was covering 1st, and a good job by Valentin. And so Tino raced on the base pass.
See what he did? It was a high pitch again. He got on top of it, but hit it too hard right back at him.
Ooh.
And very, very close. Leiter's already made 2 errors. You assume they're throwing errors. He stayed on it, but almost threw that one away. Almost hit the umpire on 2nd base.
Do you pinch hit for Darryl Kyle? Part of our virtual manager.
Well, there's some bad managers in the audience. 105 pitches, folks. Come off a shoulder surgery in November. He's pitched a heck of a ball game. Very easily, Darryl Kyle could be 4-0. Trying to get his first win. He's done his job. Got to be very careful, and I think as much as you want to get Kyle the win, the best opportunity is with the pinch hitter.
Eduardo Perez, our auto tire pinch hitter, with 1 out here in the 8th, a 1-1 game. Let's see what Perez can do. Matheny at 1st. Eduardo jumps on this pitch. Cedeno back. Get out. It is gone. A home run for Perez. Off the bench. 2nd time he's done it this year.
How many of those managers now, you have to make a decision before you can second guess. It's a little different when you're in that seat.
Second baseman, number 4, Fernando
Perez,
Nunez.
the home run, his second of the season, and a 3-1 St. Louis lead.
No doubt about this one. He got it out there. Surprised that's the first home run allowed by Leiter. It's the first earned runs, tonight that he is allowed at home. And it's 3 now, and that ERA is going to take a beating. But he's pitched brilliant. Both of them.
His first home run beat Milwaukee. Does this one stand up to beat the Mets and snap this losing streak for the Cardinals? He jumped on it.
Now, when a chance to see, I'm sure Isringhausen in a save situation, but we've got to get through the 8th first.
That'll be the top of the order. Looking ahead, Cedeno, Alomar, and Mo Vaughn. Still a long way to go, but Perez, 2-run shot with 1 out, has given the Cardinals the lead.
Another thing to think about in Bobby Valentine's decision to pitch hit is he has 2 active guys on his roster that are unavailable.
Perez and Piazza.
Right.
And really, you can pretty much throw McEwing in there as well, being the backup catcher in some ways.
You would keep him in the game in some capacity.
Correct.
So that is all part of the information process.
Vigna the opposite way. The second out. Fernando tonight is 0 for 4. And it's up to Polanco here in the top of the 8th.
Third baseman, number 27, Placido Polanco.
There's another aspect to what Al Leiter's trying to do right now, too. After you've given up the 2-run home run, you can't have a meltdown. You've got to hold the opposition down. Give your team still a chance to come back from a 2-run deficit. But sometimes young pitchers just crumble.
He fell behind 3-0 on Vigna and then came back and got him.
Emotionally, you're in such a swing. And remember, he made the final out.
Here's Polanco into shallow left, and that's pitch 103 on the night for Al Leiter. Eduardo Perez off the bench, a 2-run home run. Cardinals have the lead. 32-year-old Eduardo Perez in the top of the 8th, a 2-run shot off the bench. And this is his second home run of the season. His first beat Milwaukee in the 11th inning. This one, could it stand up to beat the Mets? 6 outs to go. Perez with a 2-run shot to give the Cardinals their first lead of the night. It's 3-1 St. Louis.
And you think about it, is after Perez hit the home run, fastball that was up, Leiter hit cut. Everybody was hitting everything on the ground, and then that last inning, they started getting the ball up a little bit. 5 balls produced in. Steve Klein's come into the game. Somebody had to show him where home plate was. He has not pitched since April the 12th. He's had a little tenderness in the tricep area, back of his shoulder.
Double switch. Eli Marrero moves from right field to behind the plate. Robinson takes over in right. There's Eli as the catcher from outfield to behind the plate. The versatile Marrero. 3-1 St. Louis. Here's Steve Klein. Good to see him back. Cedeno takes a strike. Switch hitter. Top of the order now for the New York Mets. Cedeno, Alomar, and Mo Vaughn.
Klein threw on the side in Milwaukee on Sunday. Wasn't throwing 100%. Reported no pain, but
Cedeno down the right field line. That's a base hit. Fair ball. He can fly.
ground rule double.
They'll stop at second.
This is the problem with Steve Klein, is he really hasn't extended himself and tried to throw hard.
The second baseman,
Since
number
the
12,
12th.
Roberto
Find yourself
Alomar.
competitive. You're trying to it's hard, tough enough to throw strikes, let alone to throw major league competent strikes. Bobby Valentine's going to come out here and check on something.
A fan came out and touched the ball.
Yeah, that's what They're trying to say with Cedeno's speed, he could be on third base, but it's your fans, Bobby. Your ground rules, your fans, they reached over. And the police officer is sitting right next to our culprit.
Ground rule double for Cedeno, and Roberto Alomar, a switch hitter, will face Steve Klein, this time from the right side.
And what Bobby's arguing is like, hey, that ball would get down in the corner. My guy's one of the fastest guys in the game. He'll be standing on third if he's not coming home on inside the Parker.
And now Klein is throwing while those two discuss it. Let's get things going here. 3 for 32 is Alomar from the right side, 0-94, so he's struggled from this side of the plate. Cedeno at second base, and this crowd coming alive yet again. Swing and a miss. Alomar tonight against Darryl Kyle. Walked, stole a base, scored a run. Back in the first on the RBI by Valentin, the only run for New York. Flied out to center and grounded out to second. 1 for 5 against Klein. Gets down the bunt. Klein's only play. First base. Tino covering. 1 away. And Cedeno will move up. And that takes the bat out of a very dangerous Roberto Alomar's hands.
Number 42, Mo Vaughn.
Steve Klein took his time, settled, and gets the first out here in the 8th. You know, Mo Vaughn could tie this thing up with one swing of the bat. Tremendous power.
You have to think that they go over a little scouting report, but see if he has thrown his slider yet today.
See, there's some action in the Cardinal bullpen. Jason Isringhausen is up and throwing, and lefty-lefty situation here. Klein against Mo Vaughn. Isringhausen did have a 2-inning save situation.
Yeah, you just right now it may be ask him to get 4 outs, but the real key is Steve Klein has to retire Mo Vaughn.
Right.
Hopefully keep it still a 2-run game.
This is where Klein is dangerous against left-handed hitters. He shuts him down. Can he shut down Mo Vaughn? First pitch buckled him a little bit. Strike 1. Vaughn tonight is struck out, fly to center, and grounded out to Tino Martinez at first. 0 for 3 on the night. Hitting just .231, sitting on 1 home run. 1 ball, 1 strike. Former MVP of the Boston Red Sox. Against left-handed pitchers, Vaughn 2 for 14, 4 strikeouts.
Couple breaking balls to run the count 1-1.
1-1 pitch. A shot. Fair ball. 1 run in. Vaughn will stop at first base. 3-2 St. Louis.
You know, you almost, it's such a tough situation for Steve Klein because, you know, he's been out for so long. You want to bring him into a game. You've got to bring him into a close game of this nature, but it's almost not fair. And you're just hoping you get some positive results. He's not going to have a good location with his breaking ball, and both times he gets hit, similar pitches down the right field line.
And that's going to be it. Tony La Russa will go to the bullpen.
His next time out, he'll be much better for just having this brief outing here tonight.
You could just tell he wasn't quite as sharp as he has been, but the layoff certainly is going to add to that. And Isringhausen will come in and try to shut this one down. 3-2 St. Louis. Bottom of the 8th. Steve Klein is out. Isringhausen in. Mo Vaughn is at first base. Valentin will step in. 10th time we've seen Isringhausen. And he'll have to go more than 1 inning to pick up save number 3. Of course, he's used to the Big Apple. Drafted by the Mets. Came up as a starter. His first season, he was 9-2 back in 1995. Then 6-14 in 96. 2-2 in 97. Did not play in 98. and then was traded in '99. Now a closer with the Cardinals. Here's Valentin. These two have met in the American League. First pitch is strike.
Danny, another one of these tough decisions for Bobby Valentine. With the short bench, do you pinch run for Mo Vaughn?
That's right.
You have 5 extra men. You only have 2 of them available. I mean,
Mo Vaughn is off of first. Edmonds gets it in for the second out. And Mo is pretty much all the way down to second base. 2 outs. Isringhausen gets the first.
He may not have known there were 2 thinking there were 2 outs.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, the way he ran, and for a guy that doesn't run well, he must have thought there were 2 outs. So he sees the ball going up, and that's about full speed anyway for him.
Up to Alfonso.
You know, you have Piazza with a hamstring, you have Perez with a hamstring, and Ordonez, the last minute scratch. We don't even know if he was available.
Right. Probably a triple or a home run. The only way Mo Vaughn's going to score. From first base.
Well, if it's a triple, he's either there's going to be a play at the plate if he gets thrown out at the plate or he scores.
Alfonso hitting .338. Next by Isringhausen, a strike. 94 miles per hour on the gun here at Shea. Our gun and the Fox box has been out all night. We'll tell you when he gets it up there. That last one at 94 from Isringhausen. Alfonso tonight 1 for 3. Mo Vaughn a short lead from first. Ground ball, weakly hit. Vigna there. He'll go to first, and Isringhausen gets the Cardinals out of the 8th inning. Good work by the former Met against his former team. We head to the 9th. 3-2 St. Louis. We hope you'll join us for our next Cardinals telecast, which will be Friday, right here on Fox Sports Net. The Cards and Expos in game 1 of their 3 games set. Game 5 of the Blues and Hawks tomorrow. Good luck to them. And that also can be seen from the Savas Center right here, only here on Fox Sports Net. Our coverage begins at 5:30 tomorrow night. Perez, if the Cardinals can hold this lead, stands to be the hero tonight. A 2-run home run off of Al Leiter, new pitcher in for the Mets. David Weathers, 32-year-old, been around for a long, long time, Al.
He's been outstanding for the Mets. He is 2-0, an ERA just over 2, and opponents are batting only .140 against him. So he's been an outstanding setup man.
Guerrero, Pujols, and Edmonds for the Cardinals. And the first pitch is a ball to Eli, who's now catching. Part of a double switch. And brought in Klein. Isringhausen has 3 more to go to pick up his next save, number 3 on the year. See if the Cardinals can get some insurance. Eli tonight grounded out twice and also popped out. And the third baseman, Alfonso. Room in the hole between third and short. Eli hits it to third. He's going to be over 4 tonight. And that's how we start the 9th inning.
Weathers got in on him.
The left fielder, number 5, Albert
Weathers
Pujols.
was traded from Milwaukee to the Cubs. Gave up Cueto, young pitcher, young starter. He was there for a couple months, and then the Cubs let him go elsewhere.
Part of the '96 world champion New York Yankees. 80 games with the Cubs and Brewers in 2001. 3-2 Cardinals as Pujols trying to bunt his way on. Fouls it away. Albert hitting .276, 4 home runs, 17 RBIs. The RBIs a team high. He's walked and scored back in the second on the double by Tino Martinez. Grounded out to third and popped out to short. 0-2 on Albert. Looking ahead to the 9th, the bottom half. Burnitz, Jay Payton, and Vance Wilson for New York. One ball, 2 strikes on Albert. 2-2. David Weathers started in '91 with Toronto. Pitched for Florida. World champion Yankees in '96, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Milwaukee, Chicago. And Pujols drives this down the opposite field. Right field line. That ball is gone. A home run for Pujols. Just stayed fair. On a 2-2 pitch, it's back to a 2-run lead.
Looks like it went right off the foul pole. Which, why is it the fair pole? Should be the fair pole.
5 home runs, 18 RBIs for Pujols, and back to a 2-run lead. Some insurance for Isringhausen in the bottom half.
Impressive home run last night. Here, pitch up and away and a line drive. It goes right off the pole. Ball's over the fence. So
4-2, St. Louis. Just 5 hits on the night for the Cardinals. Pair of home runs, Pujols and Eduardo Perez. Perez made it 3-1. Pujols makes it 4-2.
Had him 0-2. 2-2 pitch up and away, and just a line drive and right off the pole.
1 ball, 1 strike on Edmonds. With Renteria to follow. 1-2. Josh Pierce against Steve Traxel tomorrow.
See if we can get Jimmy swinging the bat. He does not look good at the plate.
Backs away from that one to even the count up.
They've been working him in, go away, back in. I just wonder if that the first at bat when he was called out looking on a pitch away kind of messed him up.
Also on a routine fly ball, I saw him grimace. He caught it, threw it back in, and started reaching for his hamstring area. I wonder if that's still bothering him a little bit.
It is. He says it's been a little bit better, but it's something he's going to have to contend with for a while.
Three and 2 on Edmonds with 1 out, nobody on, and a 4-2 St. Louis lead. Cardinals trying to snap this losing streak and pick up their 2nd victory on the road trip. 1-7 entering tonight's game. Just missed inside. There's Rick Hummel, the Post Dispatch. Good to see him on this trip. Baseball writer for the Cardinals and the Post. He'll be with us in Montreal as well. New York and Montreal, 2 of his favorite stomping grounds, and he's with us on the rest of the trip.
He's got some new assignments this year, but he will still be traveling quite a bit with us.
Here's Renteria, a 4-2 St. Louis lead. One out, Edmonds at first, and the pitch is a strike. Tino's on deck. Renteria tonight has walked, grounded out to short, and has an infield hit. And a close play at first, and then was caught stealing to end the 7th. Some action in the Mets bullpen. 1-1. Albert Pujols has made this a 4-2 St. Louis lead. A solo home run, his 5th of the year. And a team high 18 RBIs. Perez in the 8th. Untied with a 2-run shot off of Al Leiter.
Dean Davis and Pete Walker. Their right-handers warming up.
Good shot, none doing.
I almost threw it back over the plate. Saw a 0-0 game settled here as a pitcher threw a wild pitch on a pitch out. Runner at third base came home.
Who was the culprit?
If I remember right, Mike Perez.
That carries to center. Back to first goes Edmonds. And there's 2 away. That'll bring in Tino.
First baseman, number 21, Tino Martinez.
Tino's
Pujols had a nice night. He's 2 for 3. Got the double back in the second inning to drive in the Cardinals' first run. See if we can get a 3-hit night. See if we can get that first home run.
2 for 3, as Al told you on the night. Picked up the first RBI. Looks at a fastball from Weathers.
Dan, and normally I don't like to talk about home runs with a guy, especially when you struggle a little bit, but he has mentioned it several times that
get that first one.
Yeah, in his mind, that first home run is going to settle him down.
The next at Tino. A ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Martinez has the average up to 185. Started the night at 161. 2 for 3 on the night. Up the middle, base hit, 3-hit night for Tino Martinez. Edmonds will stop at second. That's nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, he was 0 for 16 when he first went to the Yankees. And look at him keep his head right down on the pitch. Followed that pitch right in there, low pitch, and drives it up the middle.
And he was the kind of guy, when we were talking about left-handers sitting out against Al Leiter, he did not want to be taken out of this game. Tony La Russa thought about it, and he's rewarded by putting him in the lineup. A 3-hit night for Tino.
Right there, he's looking at it, just 3/100ths of a point below the Mendoza line.
That'll help too.
Oh, absolutely.
Get above that, get that first home run.
And trust me, he is one of the favorites in that clubhouse. Has the respect of all his teammates, and everybody knows that he doesn't have to show him with the bat. That will come, and it's starting now.
The leadership he showed just in spring training alone, coming to a new team after all those years with the Yankees. Each night of spring, he would take a different player out, learn about them, and vice versa, take him out to dinner. Wanted to know about his future teammates. Here's Kerry Robinson, part of a double switch last inning. Kerry is 5 for 21 on the season. We've seen some pitching here tonight, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Outstanding pitching duel. We thought it would be, and it proved to be one. It's not over yet, but behind Kerry is going to be Jason Isringhausen. Izzy will, I think he's more concerned about pitching than swinging the bat.
Robinson, a ground ball, fair ball to Mo Vaughn. Cardinals strand a couple. They've left 4 on the night, but Pujols adds to this Cardinal lead. 4-2, bottom of the ninth for Nitz, Payton, and Wilson due up. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Net was brought to you by Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you.
He's got a 2-run lead. Needs 3 outs. And a little bit unusual, these Mets have not hit a home run in their last 8 ball games.
I saw that. This would be one of the guys you'd expect to do that. To hit home runs. Jeremy Burnitz, 4 on the season. First pitch is a ball low and in. Burnitz, Jay Payton, and Vance Wilson. One 1-0 pitch from Isringhausen, a strike.
The Pujols home run was a big advantage, giving that extra insurance run.
Isringhausen 13-9 with a save in 33 career games, 29 starts here at Shea for the Mets. Nasty pitch there to Burnitz.
Breaking ball.
He's just got great stuff. Great stuff.
A power guy doesn't have to be as fine. He can get away with more mistakes. He does have very good stuff in more than one pitch.
Stays 1-2. Team is not sure whether Bud Smith will make his next scheduled start. He'll be tested tomorrow. Makes this game even more important. the uncertainty with the starting staff the next couple of games after Josh Pierce. 1-2 on Burnitz. 2-2. Did not get the call.
This ball a little bit off the plate.
Cardinals trying to make it 2-7 on this road trip. With a win here tonight. That's a good start here in the bottom of the ninth. A strikeout of Burnitz.
Good breaking ball there. Gets a strikeout. A lot of times, closer can't work on a lot of pitches, but there's a breaking ball that he's got a good one. He's got the overpowering fastball. He's got a natural cutter.
Here's Jay Payton. Has a base hit. He struck out. And a sacrifice bunt back in the seventh. 1 out here in the ninth. 4-2 St. Louis. Ground ball. First pitch. Renteria. 2 away. 2 away. This is our Budweiser play of the game. What else? A pinch hit home run by Eduardo Perez. A 2-run home run off of Al Leiter. At one point, he was mowing down the St. Louis Cardinals here tonight. 16 straight. Perez, though, got to him.
Nice thing, too, is to this point, it's been a very efficient 4 batters that Jason has retired.
Come back tomorrow?
Absolutely.
And the first pitch is strike to the catcher, Vance Wilson. 0 for 2 on the night. He's flied to right, walked, and also struck.